Special Assistant United States Attorney. Our friend Don Brown is back with us. Don, welcome back to the show.
Thank you, Grant. It's good to see you this evening. Thanks for having me.
Good to see you, Don. So, look, one thing that I want everyone to realize is we're not doing what they did to us. We're not putting James Comey in a Tyler, Texas courtroom where you're going to have a conservative and a Make America Great Again jury to go face to face with, like they did the opposite to President Trump, putting him in a liberal courtroom and a liberal jury. He's in Virginia. So I'll ask you, what are the prospects of getting a conviction of James Comey?
Well, certainly better in Northern Virginia than if the prosecution were brought in the District of Columbia. But you got to remember, Arlington, Alexandria, and I lived up there when I was at the Pentagon, has turned, pretty blue. And that's the reason that Virginia has become a swing state, because the size of the federal government with all those bureaucrats over there, it would still be a challenge for the Justice Department. It would be impossible to get a conviction in D.C., but I do commend the Justice Department. And Chris Cuomo is off base. I mean, when you look at the prosecutions against President Trump, against Sidney Powell, Rudy Giuliani, all those folks, there was no crime at all, just made up crap. But in this case, what you have is the former director of the FBI, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, lying to Congress in response to a direct question from Ted Cruz. That's a federal crime. That's 5 years. Obstructing Congress is a federal crime, 5 years. And, we hold our FBI director to a higher standard. I'm glad to see this happen. I hope to see some others get indicted real soon, too, who are part of that Biden and Obama cabal that really just turned the Justice Department on its head and corrupted it.
Let me play you a soundbite from Kash Patel, the now director of the FBI.
I mean, just think about it. 8 sitting United States senators, phone records were gathered and subpoenaed through the grand jury process, and it was buried and wormholed with the hope that no one would find it. So we're just scratching the surface here, but accountability is coming. You're darn right I fired those agents. You're darn right I blew up CR-15, the public corruption squad that led the weaponization at the Washington field office. We're just warming up.
All right, he says he's warming up. He's talking about this surveillance of the phone records of sitting United States senators. I've got to believe James Comey knew about that. Is there any criminal liability to that? You had Senator Kennedy thinking he's going to file a civil lawsuit against both Comey and the FBI. Your thoughts, Don?
Well, sure, there's criminal liability. It is a crime for a public official to conspire to deprive individual citizens of civil rights, or to use their office to deprive those of civil rights. We have this little thing in the Constitution called a Fourth Amendment, and you can't go invading the privacy of American citizens or taking records without a search warrant based upon legitimate probable cause that a crime has been created. And talk about a coup here. Here we have a deep state agency actually spying on members of the legislative branch, the United States senators, and I think that there should be more indictments coming. I believe that Comey probably did know. How could he not know? He was the director. And like they say in the Navy, the responsibility stops with the captain of the ship. There needs to be aggressive prosecution here. This is just an attack on our Constitution, an attack on the Fourth Amendment.
Yeah, it sure is. When I look at this now, it sure feels like for Comey, lying to Congress is just a slap on the wrist. Do you think there may be more to come from him? I'm happy to see the charges. Is there more to come for others, like former directors of the CIA?
Well, sure. I mean, you look at the meeting that Obama had in December before he went out of office, and Susan Rice writes this notice. She goes out of the office. Everything's got to be done by the book. It's clear that senior members of the Obama administration were up to their neck in Crossfire Hurricane, probably in these illegal search warrants when they started going after members of the Trump administration. And if you attack the Constitution, then you got to be investigated. You got to be prosecuted. I don't believe for 1 second that the director did not know about these multiple attempts to spy on United States senators. And I hope this thing gets busted wide open. They brought corruption into one of the most revered institutions, the United States Department of Justice. And the only way to clean out corruption is with disinfectant. We got to prosecute these actors.
Yeah. Amen to that. Don Brown, it's always great having you on the program. Thank you, sir, as always.
We appreciate you, Grant. Thank you.